Hey, I'm Olivia,
And hey, I'm Dad.
and you're listening to Soarin' Around WDW. Welcome back, Flight Crew. Today's episode is all about slowing down, soaking in the atmosphere, and finding those peaceful pockets of the parks that help you reset. We're calling this one Relax, Take It Easy, Favorite Chill Spots in the Parks. Whether you're a rope drop to fireworks kind of guest like myself, or someone who's just trying to survive the heat and the crowds, sometimes you just need a moment of calm. So today we're going to share our favorite low-key rides, quiet corners, and even some hidden gems outside of the parks where you can take a breather. We'll also talk about the best spots to just sit and people watch, where to grab a quiet drink or snack, and even some tips for finding zen if you're feeling overstimulated. If you've ever thought, I love Disney, but I just need a minute, this episode is for you. So, Dad, kind of talk a little bit about what your normal speed is at the park because I know mine is go, 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 go. I very rarely take time to relax, but have been trying to be better about that on our last few trips. But usually, what does your day look like?
Well, when I was I shouldn't say I should say a young father, but when I was a father
Yeah.
and taking you guys to the park, we pretty much did the commando thing, right? Rope drop, go all day. Maybe you run back to a hotel and hit the pool, but a lot of times we wouldn't even do that. We would just do parks and park hopper and go, go, go. As I get older and if I'm not maybe with kids of any age, I find myself still getting there on time. I think that's kind of a family thing. That's something that's part of my DNA.
Yeah.
Getting there for a rope drop, but maybe not racing around quite as much since we've done, like yourself, you've done a lot of things already. And unless we're with another couple that's never been there, it's a different story. We'll definitely commando it a little harder. But we like to just go take our time, eat someplace nice, go on a few attractions, and just kind of let the day kind of play out. So that's kind of the way we do it now. It's a much slower pace.
Yeah, and I was listening to some other podcasts this week, and I heard a lot of general themes of people that when you're lucky enough to get to the point where you can relax and take it easy in the parks, you've probably been a handful of times because most people, their first few trips are trying to pack it all in, which I totally get, especially with the prices and the price hikes. You want to get your money's worth, but being able to just take it all in, see some of the more hidden corners or quiet spaces. I mean, there's just stuff shoved in every single corner that the Imagineers have thought of trying to, piece things together, even in ride queues. It's like sometimes, especially lately, we almost always lightning lane, almost always. And so we're kind of zipping through the queue, but then in some attractions, the queue is some of the best stuff. So you sometimes miss a lot when you're running around so much. There's just so much to look at, even after going, we've been 100 times, literally. So, yeah, there's always new things, always things changing, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of slow down. So, when we were going through this list, kind of wanted to break it up into different sections. The first section I wanted to really talk about were attractions. And I think in the Magic Kingdom, they do a pretty good job of having a mix, obviously, of these e-ticket thrilling attractions, the more family toddler attractions, dark rides, as a lot of people, refer to them as, and then also some really chill and slow areas, attraction shows, things like that. So I kind of put together a little bit of a list, and you'll have to tell me if you agree or disagree with some of these. But in Magic Kingdom, the very first one that always comes to mind when I'm thinking of like a relaxed, chill, just need to take a minute and put, your feet up is the People Mover. It's one of my absolute favorite attractions in the entire park. It has great views. You get a little breeze when you're going around. It's inside and outside. It's covered. And it just feels like a nice little break between things. What did you agree, Dad, with that?
One of my favorites, and I was actually on the original People Mover in Disneyland in
Oh, you
1970.
were?
We actually have some home movies of my dad filming us on that attraction. So,
Oh, that's
and a lot
cool.
of people at Disneyland would love to see the People Mover come back. I know they did a recent poll there with a lot of the guests, and this, if you could have one ride to return to the Disneyland, they said the People Mover is the one that was a very high choice for most people.
Yeah, I think especially being there recently when we were just there in June and you go into Tomorrowland there, and as we talked about in our Parks of the Future episode when we kind of redid the space, there's a lot in Magic Kingdom that's starting to be lacking in Tomorrowland, but in Disneyland, there's really a lot to be, there's a lot lacking. There's a lot that could be done there. And just seeing the abandoned track of the People Mover, the track's still there and there's just
Right.
nothing there. I mean, it's yeah, definitely one that would love to see that come back to Disneyland. I know, like you said, people that are especially California or Disneyland is their park home, they talk about that all the time. So I think that would be definitely really cool. Hopefully they'll make that happen at some point. The next attraction on my list for a very chill attraction is Pirates of the Caribbean. We talked about this a lot in our Q review episode that it's a more calm, except for the one tiny little drop, but air conditioned, dark, not super overstimulating. There's a lot to look at, but it's not super loud in your face like Dinosaur, where you're whipping around and there's all these noises and there's so much going on. This one is just a slow paced, great ride. I mean, they did so much with this attraction. There's so much to look at, but very, very chill. And I know you love this ride as well.
Absolutely. And you're right. There's a little drop in the beginning that kind of scares some of the kids, I think, when they first are, ride it because you're not expecting it. That's the whole idea, right? But yeah, it's a great relaxing ride and we never miss it.
Yeah. And then what else? I'll let you go for a couple so I don't have to talk first for all of them. But what's a chill attraction that you would recommend for somebody that's wanting to just kind of take it easy after going for a while?
Well, I like your Carousel of Progress. I see that mentioned here. It has become kind of popular again, I think, over the years. For a while there, they talked about closing it, and I was pretty upset about that. I think it was about 15 years ago they talked about closing down, and it was only open like seasonally for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's the case because they're going to do some upgrades, I believe, to the last scene from what I've heard recently. So that's good. Yeah, so that's a great one to go in if you just want to just sit in a chair and sing the songs that they sing through the whole thing, or I'm sure a lot of people have the whole dialogue memorized like we do. So it's a great place just to hang out and get a break.
Yeah, for sure. And that is, I love that song, one of my favorite park songs that's not tied to like an IP. And now they're getting that Walt animatronic update here at some point. So
Right.
that will be really cool to see because, it's definitely an attraction that's obviously been around since we talked about like at the World's Fair, but it is something that is just so legendary, so Walt that it'd be impossible to see it go away. So I know we talked about that a little bit in the World's Fair episode, but yeah, I agree. Great relaxing attraction. Another one is the Hall of Presidents, which I know you probably enjoy more than I do, but I do think it's a good, relaxing air conditioned spot that is a good place to just kind of rest for a little bit. It's not usually one that has like a wait to get into. And so that's always a good one just to kind of chill out and see the updates. It is one that I haven't done in probably, oh man, I don't even know, 15 years. I have not been in it. I'm trying to think who would have even been president, like maybe since Bush was president. I don't know. It's been a long time. So it would be cool to go in and just see the updates and, the new animatronics. They always do such an amazing job. But that's one that I think would be great. Would you agree?
Yes, and I saw this originally in 1973, and it was pretty cutting edge, even though they had the Lincoln um, animatronic out in Disneyland. It was pretty impressive. They have all those presidents, and they go through the roll call and they nod or they raise their or whatever. They go through the whole roll call of all the presidents. It was as a 13-year-old, I was pretty impressed. But I think as time's kind of gone on, and of course they're still adding as we have more presidents. They're adding new animatronics of those presidents. I think it's getting to the point where it's kind of a little bit stale. I know it's hard to believe with all the animatronics and everything up there, and the period costumes are all correct and everything that they're wearing.
Yeah.
But I just, unless you're a history buff, which I am to some degree, or maybe a little older like me, you might still enjoy that. But I think a lot of kids would go in there and it'd be a sleeper for a lot of people anymore, which is unfortunate. But I think that's kind of the case now.
Yeah, I think it's hard when you have, which we'll talk about in Epcot, but the American Adventure, which has a little bit more of like music, story. There's a little bit more like to grasp onto there, like plot versus just kind of it's more than just going through the presidents, but that's what it felt like, especially as a kid, even, 15 years ago when I was younger. It just kind of felt like, okay, yep, they went through the presidents. All right, we can move on. It is one that's a good little relaxation time. And for, yeah, history buffs, like you really enjoy things like that. Maddie also really enjoys things like that. It's a good attraction to pop into and just kind of see updates. So at some point, we'll have to get back in there. Another one that I listed was Mickey's PhilHarm Magic, and this is one that is great for kids, great for adults. It's very chill. Again, rarely has like an actual wait. It's usually just the wait to get into the next showing, unless you catch it at the very wrong time. But it is 3D. Well, I guess they call it like 4D with they spray a little bit of water on you and have a little bit of scent. You have to wear 3D glasses, but it's very chill. It's not super overstimulating. It can be a little bit loud for kids, but it's not scary. There's no scary elements. So that's always a cute one. And I did recently go in it with Eiley in March to see the little addition that they made with Coco being added into it, which she's a huge Coco fan. So that was cool for her. And that was the first time I had been in it in a long time. But when's the last time you've been in this, Dad? A long time ago with Mikaela, probably, right?
Yes, we went into this probably 2019, but I always liked it. I always liked the part, and I always like to watch the little kids that are in the audience. If I remember right, Ariel is swimming up toward the surface, and all the jewels
Oh, yeah.
kind of
Yep.
floating out toward them. They're all reaching for the screen because they think they can touch the jewels. I just think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And then when Donald gets shot out of the can, no, out of is it tuba? No,
The tuba. Yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
tuba. I had to think. I was trying to think. I'm crossing out my movies. And right at the end, and then people are like, "Well, what's going on?" Then you turn around, he's shot into the wall in the back, and
Yeah.
a lot of people don't catch that. It's like, turn around, look, he's back there. So yeah, I think that's still a great, like you said, 4D type movie, and it's still, I think, very popular still. So which is great.
Yeah, yeah, it is. That's one that they also have at Disneyland that we didn't get the chance. I think Maddie maybe took Blake in it at Disneyland when Eiley and I were doing Guardians of the Galaxy over there, but it's a good one for sure. And then what's another one that you would list, Dad?
I really like the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. You do have to walk through it. It does get up pretty high. If you have a fear of heights, when you get way up at the top, you're up there pretty high.
Yeah.
So that might be considered safe. You're not going anywhere, but I just think that's something even as a young kid, I really enjoyed, and as an adult, I like to go up there and then just kind of slowly walk through it, climb all the stairs, and just kind of look at all the detail. There's so much detail there, and it's pretty ingenious how they actually brought water up to the top of the tree and everything. It's all set up just like the movie. So
Yeah.
that's one I really enjoy. And if you're looking, as they say, no joke, it's a walk on, right? Because you're walking through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And if it's not busy, there's hardly anybody on it, and you can just take your time. You don't feel like you're being rushed by someone behind you. So yeah, I think that's a great one also.
Yeah, it is. And there are some spots where if like people are kind of running through it, they can pass you and you don't, like you said, you're able to really take your time. I remember even as a kid thinking this was super cool. I really loved the old movie. I loved the book too. And when we were in Disneyland, Maddie had taken the kids on Pirates while I was riding Indiana Jones, which is kind of right next door to it over in Adventureland. And I was like, oh, I have time. I'm going to go walk in the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, which the last time we were there had been Tarzan, and they returned it to Family Robinson. I think we talked about this a few episodes ago. They were going to do a reboot of the story and make it into like a Disney Plus series or something like that. I think they might still be in the works on that. But it was just, yeah, really neat. A lot of detail, really cool to just see what they kind of hide in there, and all the different rooms have really cool different little themes. So definitely a great one that, like you said, is a walk on. So that's always a good option. Another one that we love that we had a hard time catching for a while was the Walt Disney World Railroad. A few years ago, kind of post COVID, we were mostly going to Magic Kingdom for the Halloween party, and it's not open usually during the party. And so we were missing it. And then it went under refurbishment as well around that time because of Tron. They had to kind of reroute the track a little bit and close it for a little while. So it had been a long time since we had been on it, but that's a really nice, relaxing one. The narration is really good. You get to get a cute couple cute little sneak peeks of things that you don't see otherwise unless you're on the train. It'll be interesting to see what you see from the train now that all this construction is going on with Tom Sawyer Island and the Rivers of America being gone, because there was a lot of stuff kind of back behind Tom Sawyer that you would see from the train that were, like fake little animals or sometimes real animals, sometimes real deer, different things like that. There's going to be a lot back there that you no longer get to see. But is the train something that you usually like to hit when you're at the parks, Dad?
Not much anymore. Again, unless I'm with granddaughter or somebody that's never been to Disney before. We used to, when you were young, we used to take the train occasionally when it was real busy. First thing we'd jump on was a train and ride over to Frontierland and hit Splash and Big Thunder and beat
Yeah.
the crowds that way. And people say, "Oh, that didn't work. It worked great." And we saved ourselves from getting a fast pass and all those things we'd have to do back in the day.
Yeah.
And it would have been, 20, probably 25 years ago now. But no, I don't. I like the train. I think it's great. To ride on a steam locomotive like that's pretty rare anymore these days. Typically, if it's just Doreen and I just going to the park, we typically pass on the train at this point. But it's a great way to relax. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely a great way to relax. And it was back in the day a good way to kind of hit. And that's like the station I remember the most is going from Main Street to Frontierland. We didn't as often do the next loop over to Toontown at the time and then back over to Main Street. But yeah, a lot has changed with the train over the years. And it's, what you see from it and different things. That Splash is now gone. You can see into Tiana's now and different things. And then what's another attraction that you can think of that you would consider relaxing?
It's a classic. I like the Country Bear Musical Jamboree. Do I hit it every time? No, but I did go to it recently and see the new updated animatronic bears that they have, and they changed the show out a little bit, and that's okay. It was the same show for how many years, right? 50 years or
Yeah.
something. So I do enjoy that for just if you want to just kick back, get some air conditioning. It's funny. The bears are great, and I think the animatronics they have put in there, it's definitely a good update. I'm very comfortable with it. It's not like they did change some of the songs and stuff. They're singing some Disney songs and things, but it's still very good, and it's a great place to relax.
Yeah, I agree. We saw the new show in March and I was actually like pretty impressed with it. I mean, Eiley enjoyed it because it's like songs she knew versus
Right.
the old one she probably wouldn't have. And the little updates they did to the costumes on the bears and just kind of giving it a little refresh. I agree. We actually liked it more than I thought we were going to, as that's one we'd seen a lot as kids and has always been a good little break spot. The other show that we haven't seen quite as much in the more recent years, but as kids we frequented quite a bit was the Enchanted Tiki Room. We especially went to it when it was Yago and Zazu when it was under new management. I probably could quote that entire show. But now that it's back more toward the original show, we haven't been in quite a while. And I was sad when we were in Disneyland. It that was under refurbishment while we were there because it'd be cool to see the original, space and all of that. But yeah, that's another good one that's air conditioned, not usually a wait, and is a kind of not long show, but I think it's like 15 minutes or so, and lasts a good amount. So that's a good one to kind of step into when it's getting really hot in Adventureland. There's not a ton of shade, like if you had just gone on Magic Carpets or Jungle Cruise waiting in that super long line. This is usually a good one to pop into in between things. Moving on over, another one is I know you've probably been on it more than me, the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. That's one that pros and cons. I thought about putting this on the list or not putting it on the list, but I know some people don't like it, myself included, because it's like, oh gosh, am I going to end up being that guy on the camera that they pan to? And that's like one of my worst. It gives me like social anxiety. But it is a low weight, walk in, sit down, relax kind of a show. So that's one that I think the kids would enjoy. They've actually never done it. We haven't taken them in there. So we might have to before it gets the axe and moves over to Hollywood Studios as it's rumored to do. Has not been confirmed yet, but I foresee that coming in the next year or so. What do you think about the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor? I know you've done it a number of times.
We have, and I was having anxiety also while getting caught on the camera.
Yeah.
Uh, as crazy and goofy as I am, people are like, "Oh, you probably like that." I said, "No, I don't want to be on the camera."
Yeah.
But it's cute, but I hope they relocate that over to Hollywood Studios. That would make sense to me,
Yeah.
and hopefully put something else in there and not leave it just vacant like they did with Stitch. So we'll see.
Poor Stitch. Yeah, we'll see. And then what's your next attraction on the list, Dad?
Well, the Haunted Mansion. Now it's definitely a chill attraction because it goes nice and slow, and you're kind of going through all these little spooky, fun, crazy, haunted areas. But it can get a little, if it's really busy, it can get kind of, the stretch room gets a little crowded. And when they dump the stretch rooms into the queue area and they're taking a row of 10 people wide down to one person, it
Yeah.
gets a little crazy. But once you get in the Doom Buggy, it becomes a chill ride. And again, it's my favorite attraction of all time. Uh, and I could go, that's one ride I could go on over and over again and probably never get bored. But yeah, I think that's a great ride to relax on.
Yeah, I agree. It's dark, it's quiet, it's air conditioned. It's a little spooky, but not too terrible. Luckily, neither of my kids are scared of it, so that's nice. They're never the kids that are crying in the thing. They kind of know what to expect and they kind of think all the ghosts are silly. So, yeah, we enjoy that one too. And then honorable mention for this park that is no longer, it is now gone. I had to mention the riverboat because that is kind of like the ultimate chill attraction, kind of hopping on that thing, taking the 20-minute ride around the rivers of America, seeing things from a different vantage point. That was always really neat. I know a couple of weeks ago on Instagram, my throwback picture was actually from Tom Sawyer Island. And just the views that you get on the riverboat and on the island of Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Mountain, it's pretty cool to see it from that point of view. So had to throw that one in there as well. Although I'm really excited about what they're gonna do with Piston Peak and the Cars area, the Villains Land. That's all going to be really neat. So, and you still have it over at Disneyland. So people can still do that if they want to over there. So moving over to Hollywood Studios, there aren't as many chill attractions here. There's usually it's a lot of, even the shows like Indiana Jones, it's loud, there's explosions, there's all these things going on. So I had to kind of think about what I could consider chill here. But one thing that Eiley and I did for the first time when we were just there in March was Vacation Fun. And this is a little theater where you watch these little Mickey Mouse shorts. I think it used to be like a Star Wars thing. And prior to that, I think is in the area where the Jim Carrey Sounds Dangerous little thing was. But we had never done it before. It has the shorts that are kind of like the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, that type of short cartoon show. And it was cute. It wasn't like the most exciting thing. I wasn't like, oh, I have to go back and watch that again. But it was a nice little way to relax. We were kind of waiting for Fantasmic. It's open late usually. So that was something different. Is this something you've done? Remind me, Dad, have you done this before?
I've never heard of it till now.
Okay. You're not missing a ton. So, and that's a lot of people on social media. There's this thing at the end called Potato Land that's like from the short. And people always were like, Potato Land this, Potato Land that. And I was like, what is that? Well, it's at the exit of this Vacation Fun. There's a little place where you can take pictures. And one of the things is like the potato, and that's from the Vacation Fun short. I never understood what that was about. But once we went, I was like, oh, okay, this is what everybody is talking about. The next one over here is my favorite, probably, show at Hollywood Studios currently, besides Fantasmic. And that is Beauty and the Beast live on stage. It's the longest running stage show at Hollywood Studios, has been there a very long time. Hasn't changed too much over the years, besides the little bat dance solo that they kind of nixed a couple years ago. And the Beast, the way he gets transformed is a little different. No spoilers, but it is a great show. It's, not air conditioned, but it's covered, and it's a great way to just kind of relax and kill some time. I don't know many people that don't like Beauty and the Beast. You might not love it, but it's at least got some catchy music. Gaston's funny. It's got some cute little moments in it. So this is one of my favorites. I know you've been probably more times than you can count to the show, Dad.
Yes, we took you and Regan there. Every time we were at Hollywood Studios, we would go. And I have a lot of fond memories. And we have a lot of video that I filmed of that
Oh
also.
yeah.
And Four for a Dollar, the janitors that open and sing in the beginning. Those are all things that are long gone now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a lot of good memories.
Yeah, definitely. What are some chill things in Hollywood studios that you think about when you think about having more of a relaxing day?
Well, I guess we got Walt Disney Presents. One that's really, as far as a walkthrough type attraction area. Not that there's that many of them in the whole world, Disney World, but that is something I love because there's a lot of memories there from me watching The Wonderful World of Disney growing up and
Yeah.
actually being alive when Walt Disney was alive. The first 6 years of my life, Walt Disney was around. I died in '66. So, um, yeah, I love all the history. I love all the behind the scenes things they show, the animatronics, all the models of all the rides. I think they have like the Jungle Cruise in there, and I haven't been in there in a while. But when I get in there, I spend a lot of time there. I could probably spend easily an hour just walking through there and really reading and checking everything out because it's very well done. For a while there, they had Walt Disney's desk there from California.
Yeah.
Uh, and then the movie at the end. I don't know if they still have the movie at the end. I'm not sure, but that was always
Yeah.
very good too. Okay.
Yep, they
So
do.
that's a great place to relax and cool off and just slow down.
Yeah, I agree. And then my honorable mention for Hollywood Studios is Muppet Vision 3D. No longer there, but always a walk-on, pretty much. And a great, funny little sit down, watch the show. Kids usually got a kick out of it. I got a kick out of it. I still quote things from that show all the time, and it makes me laugh. And Maddie's like, "You've seen this so many times. Why are you, why are you still bringing this show up?" I'm like, "I loved this show. I am excited for what's coming." Again, another like sad it's gone, but excited for what's coming. I'm hoping in some form or fashion they'll bring this back or at least give it to Disney Plus or something so we can watch it again. But it was always one that I thought was silly and was a good way to sit back and enjoy this. Is there anything else I'm missing, Dad, that you can think of from Hollywood Studios?
From a ride standpoint, not that I can think of. I looked at your list, and I couldn't think of anything else. I think you pretty much hit everything that would be a kind of a relaxing attraction.
Okay, great. And then moving on over to Epcot, the very first attraction, right when you walk in the gates, Spaceship Earth. Well, if you're coming in the front gates, at least I should say, not the World Showcase entrance. But Spaceship Earth is like the ultimate relax attraction. You sit down, it's cold, it's dark, it's air conditioned, you get some history, it's not super loud or, there's not a lot of like overstimulation there. And it's an attraction that I think, there's been a few updates over the years, obviously, of some of the scenes, and they added the little, choose your journey thing a few years ago, which is fine. But yeah, it's currently under refurbishment. It's probably not getting anything major updated because it's coming back rather soon, so it wasn't closed for that long, but it's a great chill attraction. I know it's one of your favorites, Dad, right?
It's clearly one of my favorites, even at Epcot, and there's a lot of good attractions there. I've always loved Spaceship Earth. Again, it's a lot of history there. It's a whole idea, right?
Yeah.
And just the technology of making the geodesic dome, the way it's planted in the ground with this whole structure. It's pretty impressive. Just going inside and riding inside it and imagining you're riding inside that dome all the way to the top, or not a dome, but it's the sphere, all the way to the
Yeah.
top, and work your way down, and have all those animatronics in it and everything. I always enjoy it. I never miss it every time we go, unless it's a holiday or something that's really packed. But we always try to hit Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, we always try to hit it too. I mean, it's one that I feel like as a kid, I was kind of like, yeah, it's fine. It's interesting. There's a lot to look at. But now as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, we got to do Spaceship Earth. It's definitely one that we don't want to miss. And so it would be weird to go to Epcot without it open, like right now, how it's under refurbishment. I think we've only missed it a handful of times anytime we've gone to Epcot over the last 30 years. The Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival is the one that was next on my list. And this is one that I've been in the theater. I cannot remember now if I have actually sat down and watched this or not. It's where Captain EO was, kind of right next to Figment, and where Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was. But it's just a quiet, you walk in, you watch the little shorts, and then you move on. When we talked about this in Parks of the Present, it's like, well, these shorts are now on Disney Plus, so it's kind of like nothing special. I wish they'd do something else in the theater, but it is a quiet and kind of easy thing if you just need a break and want to sit down that's a good little film. There's a lot of those kind of things in Epcot. And that's one, have you been in it since it's been the Pixar Short Film Festival, Dad?
I've never seen the Pixar Short Film Festival.
Okay. What's another attraction you would give from Epcot?
Well, hands down, probably one of the most chill attractions is Living with the Land.
Oh yeah.
Nobody you can walk on unless, again, unless it's a holiday and it's real busy. But normally it's a walk on, and then you float through all the all the upside down plants and all the different things that you see. I've always liked it. I don't know if I go on it every time. I go on it quite often. A lot of fond memories. We took you kids on that every time. I and it's just there's a great narration. You actually learn something, but it's real relaxing, especially the first part with the scenes of the desert and the prairie and all those things they show in the beginning. I really enjoy that part too. So, yeah, it's a great relaxing ride.
Yeah, I agree. I love this ride. It's definitely kind of like a sleeper favorite. A lot of people I feel like in the Disney creator world are obsessed with it. You either love it or you hate it. I feel like people are either like, "Oh, I skip it every time," or they enjoy it. But it definitely has a great song towards the end that a lot of people talk about. But yeah, I agree. It's very slow paced, very relaxing. You get to learn a little bit. It's cool to see what they're doing with the plants. They try to throw in some kind of theme, even if it's not like a holiday. Like they have like the princess things. They have like plants that are themed and they kind of arrange to look like something from one of the princess movies or like Mickey Pumpkin and like different things to make it a little bit more interesting, especially for younger kids. But I enjoy it. I think it's a really cool attraction. Another one within this area in the Land Pavilion is the Awesome Planet show. And this is one, again, I have not seen this particular show, but this theater has been there a long time. It used to be a Lion King, like Timon and Pumbaa based show, and now it's Awesome Planet. And it's another one that you can walk in, not never wait in a cold, dark theater and watch and kind of learn about the planet. And it's, yeah, I haven't specifically seen this one, but it'd be a very easy thing to kind of walk in and do if you're looking to kill time waiting for your lightning lane for Soarin or, waiting for your meal at Garden Grill, anything like that. It'd be an easy one to kind of sneak in and sit for a little bit. We probably should have done this and let our food digest before you went on Guardians after doing the Garden Grill.
That would have
But
been a good idea, yes.
yeah. Have you seen this one, Dad? I can't remember if you had said you'd seen this or not.
I haven't. I saw this, I think it was called the Circle of Life one.
Yeah.
Before that, Circle of Life. I saw that, I think, with Michaela. That was some time ago when she was pretty little. But and maybe we saw the one prior to that too. I think it was another planet type movie with you kids when you were little. So
Yeah.
there's been a couple of different films run through there in the past probably 20 years.
Yeah, definitely. What's another attraction that you can think of that would you would consider more chill in Epcot?
Well, it's clearly the seas with Nemo and friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they still call it, I don't think there's the sea base alpha thing. Is that part of it still? I know that
I
was
don't
the original one.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know if
think
that's what
so.
they call like the actual aquarium. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yes, yeah, Sea with Nemo and Friends, that works.
Yeah. So, again, you go in the queue that goes on forever. And once you're worn out from walking through the queue, you can sit in your clamshell and cruise through the whole little Nemo vignettes that they have, which are really well done. It's better than it was, I think it was before, right? Probably quite a bit better if I remember right.
Yeah.
And yeah, then you go see the fish and all the different things. And I know little kids really dig it. I know you guys did. I know Makala did when she was little. So yeah, it's a great, really laid back. And then you could go see Turtle Talk with Crush too. That's off to the side, if I remember right,
Yep,
down there too. If that's still a thing, I think it still is.
it
So
is.
that's another kind
Yep.
of a chill area too to take your kids. They'll probably enjoy that also.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at. It's one of the world's largest aquariums, which is pretty cool. I don't know exactly where it sits in the ranking now. It's kind of changed over the years, but there's a lot to look at and lots of different little educational things if your kids are into that. There's Turtle Talk with Crush, but the tanks are huge and there's always a lot going on in there. It can get busier or crowded, but not like crazy. It's never been like overly crowded in there that I remember. And so, yeah, that's always a good one to kind of hop in get some chill time and hop back out. The next Epcot chill attraction, kind of moving over into the World Showcase, is the Grand Fiesta Tour. And this one is one that, again, rarely has a long wait. If this has a long wait, it's a busy day in Epcot. But this is an air-conditioned, quiet boat tour. There's Donald and the, three caballeros that are featured in this attraction now. And that just was like a little upgrade a few years ago that I feel like helped make it a little bit more fun for kids to kind of ride through there. But yeah, it's very quiet, calm boat ride, similar to things like Living with Land or Pirates, but no thrilling drops or anything like that. So this is one that we will run into if we are, again, waiting for something else to come up like our Lightning Lane. It's not one that we have to hit every time, but definitely I'm stopping at the Mexico Pavilion at some point to get my favorite drink there, which is the frozen margaritas. They are so good. But what do you think about the Grand Fiesta Tour attraction as far as the chill rating of it?
It's clearly another boat ride, and it's not, like a Tiana slash Splash Mountain type
Yeah.
of boat ride. No, it's relaxing. It's fun. We talked about the queue before. The queue could definitely use some help,
Oh yeah.
but sort of that. Yeah, it's relaxing. Again, it's a boat ride like you're on the Pirates, same type of ride system, and very enjoyable. A lot of times, I think most of the time that we went, you know, walk on it, but normally the line was pretty short. Again, unless it's a holiday, 4th of July or whatever, Christmas, right? Thanksgiving, some of these busier times, but normally it's
Hmm.
a pretty much a walk on.
Yeah, exactly. And then what's another one in World Showcase that you can think of that would be a relaxing one?
Well, there's all the movies, and we'll cover that, but I'll definitely have to say the American Adventure. You're right. It's not the Hall of Presidents. It
Yeah.
goes well beyond that. And this is something that was developed 11 years later. So the technology was better, and the whole storyline that they have with the rotating theater that goes, underneath and pops up is a whole cool mechanism underneath that theater floor on the stage up there that rotates underneath and brings each scene up. It's pretty elaborate from things that I've read about it. But yeah, it's just a great history lesson again about America, and it's got some great music, and I think it's very well done. I really enjoy that. If we have time, I try to hit that almost every time I go to Epcot because I really enjoy it. And in the foyer of that, they have the Voices of Liberty singing a lot of times,
Yeah.
which is the a cappella group that also they're in the Candlelight Processional too, if I remember right. And they normally are out there singing before you go into kind of waiting for the attraction to open for your time slot there. So yeah, it's very good. I do enjoy that, and it's a great way to relax.
Yeah, I agree. This is one that I definitely enjoy more than Hall of Presidents. And it's been a little bit since we've done it. We haven't done it with the kids, but it is a good attraction and definitely can hit you in the feels. It gets a little emotional with everything they've added from 9/11 and all this stuff. So it's one that you want to be prepared. You might get a little bit emotional with it. And then some more that I'm going to kind of lump into one, the Reflections of China and Impressions de France. Impressions de France, I don't know how to say that in a French accent, with along with the Beauty and the Beast sing along. These are all these different, I think they're 180 degrees, they're not the full 360, where you sit down in a seat for these shows and can kind of watch the different movies. So China's obviously going through the country of China, and then France is similar. Beauty and the Beast sing along is one we have not done, but I really do want to do at some point with the kids because I think they would love it. And I'd love to see the France one too. These are all things that next time we're in Epcot, I really want to try to do again. I did not include the Canada Far and Wide. Do you know why I didn't include it?
Because you're standing up
Yes,
and
exactly.
you have a rail that you can lean on, but you can't sit on the floor or the cast member will yell at you. I
That's
remember
right.
somebody sitting on the floor and the cast member said, "Get off the floor, please." So yes, it's so if you're okay chilling out and standing or leaning against a railing, you're good. But other than that, yeah, you're right. You're not sitting down.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't include it because you're not sitting and it's not I mean we included Swiss Family Robinson. That's a little different to me. But yeah, I don't like that you have to stand. I know because it's 360 and that's a whole thing, but don't love that you have to stand for that one. Anything else from Epcot that I'm missing that you could think of as far as attractions?
As far as attractions, no, I think you did a good job.
Okay, so moving over to the Animal Kingdom. This is definitely a more chill vibe park in general. It is hot. There's not a ton of shade in Animal Kingdom, but the pace is usually a lot slower. A lot of people refer to it as the half day park, which I know some people get really sensitive about, but there are a lot of just places to kind of sit, watch the animals, watch people, different trails that you can kind of go off on that are kind of at your own pace. And the first ones are the Discovery Island trails. These are some spots where you can see some different animals. They are at your own pace. You don't have to rush through. You are able to bring your stroller through, I believe. So it's something that is pretty low key and easy. And these are things that I think we did a little bit more when Animal Kingdom first opened and we first moved down to Florida. We weren't as much rushing to all the attractions when we were younger. There weren't as many thrilling attractions because Everest wasn't there. It was really just like dinosaur back then, when we were first going in the early 2000s. But yeah, I would say the Discovery Island trails are a pretty low key one. Is that something you would agree with?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I think another one's a Festival of the Lion King.
Oh yeah.
I know there's Navi River Journey, but I'll let you talk about that because that's probably one of your favorites. I'm only joking. And I've never been on that. So, but the Festival of the Lion King, I've been on, saw that show many times. Very well done, very entertaining. It's a long show as far as Disney standards are concerned, and it just never gets old. I love the music, love the movie, and it's a great place to sit down. And if you have kids, you've got to see that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. That's definitely a favorite. That's one I want to get the kids back to because when we took Eiley, the only time she's been to Animal Kingdom, it was COVID times. All the shows were closed. And so she is like itching to get back over there. She keeps asking about like, what's Animal Kingdom and whatever. And she loves the other parks, but that's one we just haven't done in a while. And it's going under a lot of refurbishment. There's a lot of changes. It needs a lot of love in certain areas, which it's going to get. But I really love this show. The Festival of the Lion King is just, it's so good. I'm glad they've kept it around for so long. Yes, Navi River Journey is definitely a chill attraction. Some would call it one where you can take a nap. It's cold, it's air conditioned, it's very chill music vibes. It's lacking a lot for me, but if you want to just relax, if it has a low wait time, this is a great one to relax. Or if you don't want to do Flight of Passage or you're rider swapping with someone who's doing rider passage, you have a younger kid, this is a good one to do while you're waiting. Don't wait more than 20 minutes for this ride. You'll regret it. The one animatronic at the end is the only really cool thing, but it is very chill. I would definitely consider it, chill boat ride with some, quiet, calm music. It's nice. It's one that Eiley slept through the whole time when she went on it the first time, for sure. But it's good. What's another one that you can think of that would be chill for this park, Dad?
Well, one of your favorites, Kilimanjaro Safaris. I think it's probably your favorite at Animal Kingdom, if I remember right.
Yep. Hmm.
And it can be a long wait, so be prepared for that. But once you get it in and get into your, I guess I'm trying to. Do they call the? I call them modified school buses because that's really what they are.
Yeah.
But once you get in your vehicle and get going, it's a kind of a long ride. I thought for again a Disney type ride or attraction, and it's all live animals. You see animals that you'll never see, a lot of places where you'll never see unless you go to maybe a really what I call a high end zoo like Cincinnati Zoo or San Diego Zoo. You just see
Yeah.
some amazing animals, but they're not behind bars or the cages or whatever. They're right there. Sometimes they walk right up toward your vehicle while you're cruising through. Great place to relax and still see a lot of really cool animals.
Definitely, it's my favorite Animal Kingdom attraction. I love it. I love that it's so long and it just is, you can see different things every time. It's very relaxing. It used to be a little bit more intense when they had the whole poacher scenario, but that's gone now. So it's all about the animals, all about learning about the animals, and it's a really cool one. I would do that multiple times in a day at Animal Kingdom because it's just really neat. And like I said, it changes every time that you're on there. Another one is the Rafiki's Planet Watch train. This is usually just a pretty chill train ride. The actual Rafiki's Planet Watch area is another space that kind of needs some love, I think. But for the most part, the actual experience riding the train over there, you can usually see some rhinos and different animals, even if you don't get off the train and just do a full loop back around. And it's a good one, again, if your party, half of them are older or want to do Everest, and the other half is really young and it's not tall enough for Everest, or people don't want to ride Everest, it's too intense or whatever. This is a good one to kind of do in the waiting period time. And that goes along with the Feathered Friends in Flight show that is close by there. And that is more of a relaxed pace bird type show that worked for a little bit with the movie Up. And now it, I believe, is just back to the Feathered Friends in Flight. And it's, kind of an interactive. They picked some people to let the bird, one of the big hawks, like land on people. And we talked about that a little bit in our Animal Kingdom episodes. But this is one that, again, I have not seen in a very long time, but is a little bit more relaxed and easy, not super hard or long wait to get into, wouldn't you say, Dad?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've seen that a version of that, I guess, a few times, and it was always very good. It's definitely chill. It's not everybody's bag to go see things like that, see birds fly around and do the different things that they do. But I also thought it was very informative. And if I remember right, and I don't know if I do, you sit on benches that are kind of like log benches. Is that true?
I think so. That's what
Something
I
like that. That's
remember.
what I remember. I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, I think it's a great show, but it is definitely a relaxing show.
Yeah, definitely a relaxing show, that's for sure. And then the last attraction that I could think of that was chill in this park is Finding Nemo, the Big Blue and Beyond. I don't know. This one was like I didn't know if I was going to include it or not. It's a long show, another like longer show. It's in the dark, it's air conditioned. It's a little long for my liking, but it is a cute show, especially if you're into like musical theater or things like this. It's cool how they do the puppetry and there's live singing and stuff. What is your thought on including this one on the list?
I think it's a great choice because if you go to the show, um, you'll probably fall asleep.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of Nemo fans. I love Finding Nemo the movie and Dory and all that, but I saw this I think once or twice, but that was enough for me. It just wasn't my bag. It's definitely not the Broadway spectacle that maybe Wicked would be, right, Olivia?
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
Or Lion King or the Lion King Broadway. It's not quite that, but yeah, I tend to stay away from that one.
Yeah, yeah, this is one that like we haven't brought the kids to. Like I said, when Eiley went, it was closed. It's one that I debate, like, would we really want to bring them to it? I just feel like my youngest would get bored almost. Like it's just not enough. I don't know, not enough action, dark, quiet. But maybe if she needs a nap, we'll take her in there and see if she falls see if she falls asleep. Okay, so we are actually going to pause here because we're a good chunk of time into this episode. There's a lot more to talk about with this. So we are going to do a part two of our Relax, Take It Easy episode where we will get into more quiet spots, quiet corners for quick service or meals or places to kind of get a snack and chill, and then some spots outside of the parks as well as some little outlier things. So that's kind of everything that we came up with as far as the attraction. So we want to know, do you all agree? Was there any attraction that you're like, oh, you're missing this? I didn't include ones like Dumbo or Carpets or Astro Orbiter because I don't know, those aren't super, super chill or not very long. So I did not include those in this list here. But these are all the ones that I could think of that would at least be pretty relaxing if you're looking for a quiet thing. We had our best friends recently went to Magic Kingdom for their second time and they called me kind of in between lightning lanes and they're like, it's hot. We need to get out of the sun. What should we do that doesn't have a wait? And they were in Magic Kingdom and I was like, okay, go on the People Mover, go to Mickey's PhilharMagic, or go sit in Country Musical Bear Jamboree. Just something that doesn't have a wait. You don't have to wait super long, and you can just get some air conditioning and relax. And they're fairly entertaining. So I think, that's usually what some people are looking for is just like, we need a break from the sun, or they're just not go, go, go people like our family is. We're definitely go, go, go. So for our Would You Rather for this week, we had a submission from, I'm trying to see to go along with our chill ride. Less You Know on Instagram said, would you rather ride Spaceship Earth for an hour or Grand Fiesta Tour for an hour? Which one would you rather ride? I know what you're gonna pick.
Yeah, there's no big mystery here. It'd be Spaceship Earth. I like the Grand Fiesta, but to ride that over and over again, yeah, that wouldn't be good for me. I would love to go on Spaceship Earth, and I'd probably check out more things and try and see things, or look beyond some of the animatronics and look at all the detail that the Imagineers put into it. A lot of people miss that, but if you go on it enough times, you start catching certain fun things. So yeah, I would say Spaceship Earth.
Okay, yeah, that's a good thought. I agree there's a lot more to look at on Spaceship Earth, so that's probably what I would pick too. The only caveat is if Grand Fiesta Tour let me bring my margarita on, I could sit and just relax and drink that over the hour, but you can't. You can't bring drinks, or at least you can't bring alcohol on that attraction. So it's got to be Spaceship Earth for me. So I would agree there. All right, everybody. Well, that is it for this week. We will be back with our, chill episode, Relax, Take It Easy part two here. Looking forward to kind of going through this. We're going to do a little bit of a break for Thanksgiving, and then we will be back with part two for this. We'll do a little mini-sode for the Thanksgiving episode, but the part two of this will be coming shortly thereafter. So take a look and watch out for that. And that is all for this week. So we will see y'all next week.
See you next week.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give us a follow on Instagram at SoarinAroundWDW Pod, where we share fun reels, throwback photos, and dive into our old versus new debates. If you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. And for our Spotify listeners, a follow and a 5-star review would mean the world. If you're listening on Apple, hit that 5-star button and leave us a written review as well. Thanks again for joining us. See you next time.